Yep, I'm starting early. A little early. You ready? I hope so. Today's going to be about Leilani Simon and her mother. Leilani wants to get charges dropped, and Grandma Howell wants to get custody of the other two children by Leilani. See in a bit. All right. So I wanted to add what I could here. Hopefully my music is not too loud. Considering I'm going to be showing some videos, court trial, and some documents if everything goes as planned. Probably be a short one, but I wanted to cover this because this is important to me. Since those tragedy pimps had no clue, you know, they claimed they cared. They claimed that they loved this little boy who unfortunately was found deceased in the landfill caused by his own mother putting him in a separate trash bin that was taken to a landfill. Now, I'm not going to take you all the way back to that time. A lot of you already know what happened to this little boy. I came after this. All right, let's see. Let's remove that one and start sharing that one. Let me bring up my other one to show you who I'm speaking of. This beautiful little boy. This beautiful little boy is who we're speaking of today. His mother, who is trying to get the police interviews dropped, which I find is extremely wrong. And the grandmother, who originally had either custody or at least foster care for this little boy, somehow or another had allowed Leilani to have access to this little boy. According to and wrote down, let's see, allegedly, according to the records, and what Leilani told police back then was that she was going to, her and her father of this little boy went and bought some drugs. Yeah. Now, since then, after they arrested her on November 21st, I believe it was. Yeah, I had it already and then put it to the side for a minute. Yeah, 11/20, the 21st of November 2022, Leilani, this little boy's mother, was arrested. She tried to pass the buck, tried to blame it on his mother, on his father, his birth father. That wasn't the case. They proved that he wasn't even in town, according to information that I found. Now, kind of fast forward a little bit, December the next month of the same year, Grandma, Billy Joe Howell, Leilani's mother, was also arrested for contempt of court and was also put in a suicide prevention smock at that time. Now, I know there's a lot of people out here that know a lot more than I do about this case. I wanted to cover just a little bit of what I found because, and I'm not going to cover the drama that went on, why several different agencies was in the landfill searching for this child for several weeks, trying to find him, trying to find some kind of remnants of this little boy. They couldn't find him. Finally, they did, and they took him to the FBI's forensics labs to be sure of what was going on. Now, this little boy deserves so much better. He really does. And I hope once the trial's over, he'll be able to really rest in peace. There's been all kinds of information. There's been little ghost stories running around of little Simon running from the little memorial that they had outside their home. Yes, I got a clip of that, but I'm not going to show that because it's not then, it's what's now. It's going on in his life. What his mother and his grandmother are doing now. Now, according to records, court documents, Grandma is trying to get custody of her other Hey, Shaylee, thank you for coming. I'm hoping more come in. I really am. Just don't know. So, oh, okay. You had to change it, or you just wanted to poke? Hope you're not stuck too long with that. But, alright, let me get to the other thing I was going to do here. Now, I'm going to show you a little incident. It happened according to court records. This is will be the most current hearing that I found. Let's see. Let me find that recording. I know I got it. Let's see. All right. Let me bring that up. All right. Where did I find it? All right. Here's one. Let's see. Right, let me get this up for you. Side. All right, yeah, I'm still learning how to do this, make me smaller and such. All right. Uh, this is kind of what happened recently in the most recent court hearing for Leilani, trying to get charges dropped. And this is compliments of Savannah, Georgia's Southeast news leader. Let's see, sure I got. Hopefully, y'all can hear it.
Since the City Custom Cash Card automatically adjusts to earn me more cash back in my top eligible category, suddenly life's feeling a little more automatic. Ooh, automatic sashimi.
Earn cash back that automatically adjusts to how you spend with the City Custom Cash Card.
Developments in the Quentin Simon case. His mother, Leilani Simon, in Chatham County Superior Court today as she faces charges of killing her own 20-month-old son. Our Flynn Snyder is live at the Chatham County Courthouse.
Flynn, we learned more today about when that case will move forward.
Hold on. Gene.
Yeah, Mike, Dawn, good evening. Judge Tammy Stokes said she hopes to try this case before year's end. It's a case that's gained national attention. It all comes as prosecutors said today that they're waiting on federal testing reports from the FBI.
Good morning, Ms. Simon.
Leilani Simon, the mother accused of murdering her son, 20-month-old Quentin Simon, back in Chatham County Superior Court Tuesday for a hearing in the case. Prosecutors telling Judge Tammy Stokes that they're waiting on forensic and toxicology testing from the FBI before the case can continue. The state says they're hoping to have those reports back by May.
What remained outstanding was some forensic toxicology testing.
Can y'all hear it okay? I hope so. Let's see. Come on. Tried to catch everybody on the same kind of in between, but wow. All right. So there we go.
Materials recovered by law enforcement in this case, namely a killer case from Quentin's pack and play.
Judge Stokes expressed her hope to try the case before year's end, but said moving into the newly built county courthouse next door could delay future proceedings.
The most important thing is making sure that motions are heard and that we can move forward.
She set an April 16th date for what's known as a Jackson Deno hearing. That's when Leilani Simon's defense team is expected to give their arguments on why any of her statements of guilt should not be admissible in trial.
At some point in time, I think we have to draw the line and proceed to trial.
Simon was indicted in December 2022 and faces 19 counts. She's accused of murdering her son Quentin and disposing his body in a dumpster. That led to a weeks-long search in a local landfill with help from federal investigators and drew national attention. Now, as for some of the other motions that have already been heard in this case, Judge Stokes said today that she plans to make a ruling on those in the next 10 to 14 days. Of course, we'll keep tabs on it, keep you updated as more information becomes available. For now, we're live in Savannah tonight. Flynn Snyder, WTOC News.
All right. Let me mute this. So, there you go. We got just crazy. I don't understand. I really don't understand why this case, why it's so hard for everybody to understand what's going on. The other one was this is the case of, let me turn this down a bit, go figure I got too loud. Now, I'm going to share this to my screen so you can all see where I'm reading it. Fine. All right, what am I doing here? All right, maybe that's what I need to do. All right, now this is a little bit about this little boy right here. Now this is out of Georgia, or I believe, let me look at this. Home of the Olympics out of Savannah, Georgia. It says, mother of Leilani Simon petitions for custody of surviving children. Now there's 2 little children that are currently, I believe, in foster care, or at least with the system. It says, and this was dated on April 19th of this year. It says the mother of Leilani Simon, Billy Joe Howell, is petitioning for custody of Simon's surviving children. There's 2 young children still involved in. 2 years later, it says Simon's 20-month-old son, Quentin Simon, was reported missing by his mother on October 5th, 2022. Now, according to records also that I found, that they had got a hold at that time of actual reporting was around 9:40 in the morning when they contacted police. Now, yeah, around 9:40. At 5:29, they text the babysitter that was supposed to take the youngest boy along with Quentin Simon to babysit for the day. They canceled it. Now, I'm not sure where the other child of the 3 was at, maybe with their father. I don't know their names. I don't want to know their names. They're probably, because they are under CPS protection and being underage, their names are not being released, which I'm glad. The world don't need to know. Many people probably already do because of their involvement, be it in a good way or being in a very tragic, harassing way. Now, I'm not going to show you what took place, why the different law enforcement and search and rescue and all that was busy in the landfill trying to find this child. Those ones there in front of Leilani's home and Billy Joe Howell's home, shame on you all. You all know who you are. I don't have to name you. You already know who you are. You already know. You've been called out a gazillion times, especially since then. Baby calls in the middle of the night. Nobody allowed in the neighborhood to sleep. And in the meantime, while you're harassing the household, at least one day, they were at Tybee Island getting drunk as if nothing was wrong. Fast forward, you've seen the court proceedings. Now, After a 6-week search, which started November 18th and did not end until November 28th at the Chatham County landfill, which led to Simon being arrested and charged with her son's murder. She tried to pass the buck. She made all kinds of excuses. I got a long list of charges that was put against this woman, this mother of three. Mother of three. Clinton being the baby of the family. This is according to court records. Howell filed for petition for custody. Now fast forward. This is Grandma, Leilani's mother, Quentin's grandmother, filed for petition of child custody March of this year, trying to get the other two children in her custody. Now, originally, according to records, she was the foster mom. She was not supposed to allow Leilani anywhere near Quentin, at least, at all. Her CPS alleged reports, court reports, says she was not supposed to have any access to Quentin at all. And yet, last time she seen little Quentin was at 6 a.m. in his playpen. The defendants listed are Simon, Leilani Simon, and the two fathers, one of each child. Three different fathers. This comes after a report from Senator John Ossoff titled Abuse and Neglect of Children in Georgia's Foster Care System. And they listed Quentin Simon as a child death that may have been prevented if it weren't for mismanagement in the Georgia foster care system. Leilani at that time appeared in the first motion hearing of the year, this year, for her son's murder case on March 26th. This was a routine hearing to determine if the defense and prosecutor have everything they need to go to trial. But according to the hearing, the state still was waiting on FBI evidence. The toxicology in that from the FBI lab. This poor child. No news. Hey, try me. Hey, Grandma Sherry. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to smash the like, y'all. Please. Now, there was something else I was looking at. Let me see. All right. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. All right. Now, this is an article that I have. Let's see. Let me bring up my other one here. Let's stop sharing that one. Let me bring up my other. Let's see. Oh, this. All right, now this is kind of gives you a little hint of what happened back then. We add this to stage. Now, this is sad. I mean, this is sad. All right. At this point, which was October 13th, 8 days after he went missing. He went missing on the 5th. This is the 13th that this Northeast Mississippi news came about. And it says, at that time, they believed that the child was deceased. And yes, the mother was suspected. And the last time, at that time, Daniel Youngkins, which is one of the other fathers that Grandma Howell is trying to get custody of his child. He last seen him around 6 a.m. Now, mind you, something that a lot of the Simon case, those who followed, the Simon case, Leilani was under probation because her and her boyfriend at that time had busted into a home and stole some coins. And she tried to throw her boyfriend under the bus. Now, this here is just a little hint of what went on. Let me drop this. This is the link for this case. So that what we're looking at now. They kept looking. They looked for days. At that time, the mom was not, the mom was not arrested yet. Now, her lawyers are trying to get that dropped. Trying to get any kind of court proceedings dropped. Like police interviews was not held against her will. She was able to walk. No threats towards her. Everything that was said during those interviews are legit. There was no threats, no, coercion by the police, nothing. And from what I understand from many, many videos out here on the streets, that, and I'm going by those who are fact checkers, who was part of this in a good way, and those who are in a bad, not so good way. I'm going with the ones that were there in a good way. And this child didn't have a chance. This little boy did not have a chance because of the system. Was it his fault? Nah, he's just a baby, 20 months old. Never his fault, nor his dad's, nor anybody else in that household. Was it Billy Joe's? I don't know. I can't prove one way or the other. I'm not going to go there. But this little boy right here is who deserves justice. Even 2 years later, he deserves justice. I want y'all to think about that. I'm not sure when the next court hearing will be. The last one I checked was, according to the judge, they were going to look into, she would know by then, and that was in April when they had a hearing. They would know whether she would allow some of them to be dropped or not at all. Yeah. This little boy, this precious child, didn't have a chance. He was a happy baby. A very happy baby. From every picture I ever seen, he was always smiling, crawling, around. We need to remember those. Does Billy Joe deserve to get the other two children? I don't know. I mean, it's been 2 years. It's kind of sad. And Leilani is locked up. Now, I don't know about the others. I do know that Quentin Simon's own father, after Leilani ended up in jail, not only lost his mother, but also lost his father by a hit and run. He was walking. That I can only imagine the turmoil going through this father's name, going through losing his own father, who he is named after, losing his own son, only son, at a young age. He was Henry Dale Moss Jr., and he lost his dad after Leilani ended up in jail. Whose fault is it really? Is it the system for failing this child? Failing the other two? Maybe. We do know that every state has child custody, child CPS issues. Not enough workers to handle the cases. Not enough care within their heart to make sure that the cases that they're handling are actually updated and checked. I mean, they got caseworkers right there in town. They got them close enough that they could check these kids, check the families. But they're just a number, and that's wrong in all states. It's wrong in all states. And I hope that someday that this little boy, this precious child, will finally have his justice that he deserves, because his mother and all the charges against her are legit. All of them are legit. Or they wouldn't have lost. Granted, it took, a month before they put her in jail. Everything pointed to her. They had enough evidence stacked against Leilani and the grandmother. Some people still believe that Grandma Billy Joe Howell should still be locked up because she allowed access to her grandchild, Leilani access to her child, when she wasn't supposed to. By law, she was not supposed to. As a mother of now 2 grown kids, I personally would not have, I'd be following the law. My thoughts, everybody's different. Our own child, we could toss, say, hey, you're not doing this to me. You're not doing this to this little boy. Get your shit straight. Stop the drugs, get your shit straight, and fly right. And even Billy Joe put in a Facebook thing, post that I read that she's sometimes good, sometimes bad. Well, when you go to Tybee Island, where everybody's at the landfill, at least all the legit ones, like law enforcement, the FBI, search and rescue teams, all that at the landfill searching for a child they were on Tybee Island. at one of the bars, drinking it up. Yeah, Stingrays. Now, I've never been there. I've been through Georgia. I've been around Savannah, Georgia, but I've never heard of this place. Granted, that was years ago. This little boy deserves justice even today, 2 years later. He still hasn't officially got all of the justice. So how can that little child rest in peace properly? You know, the babysitter, I'm not going to bring her name. I'm not going to bring her name up into this. She did what she could. She's seen some of the things that she's seen as a caretaker, you know, of the children that they brought over and took care of. That's all she can do. And when she's seen something, she reported it, which is by rights should have been. You know, I just it's sad. It, you know, there was one other thing I was going to find. There's one other I was looking at. Oh. Oh. Let me share this one other. This is Ben Sands, that court hearing. Let's see. This was the day that they went back to court. All right.
That if this happened to me, knock on wood, I would hope that it wouldn't, I would come out and say something, you know, can y'all help me find my kids? You know, but you're not. You're going to Tabby and you're drinking and you're partying. Like, what are you doing? What is going on here? Where's the FBI? Where's Secret Service? Somebody needs to find this baby and lock her up. Lock them all up because the grandma had custody. So if the grandma has custody and she left her with them, she's just as at fault.
What?
That was the day that she went back to court. This is the day that she went back to court. 2 years after the fact. I don't get it. I mean, people are still not happy. The locals, thank goodness none of the tragedy pins, and that's the reason why I had the wrecking ball on this particular thing with the 2 case dates. Yeah. Let's listen to Vinnie Politan here for a minute.
What a scene it was down there in Savannah, Georgia, when little baby Quentin went missing. And everyone's wondering, where did this little child go? And who was responsible? Well, now we know who prosecutors believe is responsible. That's little baby Quentin's mom. Julie Janae has the story.
Little Quentin Simon was just 20 months old when he was last seen in his home in Savannah, Georgia on October 5th, 2022. He lived with his mother, Leilani Simon, her boyfriend, Danny Youngkin, and his grandmother, Billy Joe Howell.
The boyfriend woke up, saw the child at 6 a.m. Mother woke up at some other time later, and then reported the child missing at 9:39. I believe the call came into 911.
Local police and FBI began searching for Quentin that very day.
We have yet to locate little Quentin. We continue to investigate this incident. We got some assistance from the FBI. We got numerous interviews to conduct today, as well as downloading phones and things of that nature.
Leilani Simon tells police that Quentin's biological father, Henry Bubba Moss, took him, so authorities go to Bubba's home more than an hour away.
He was being questioned about where he was overnight, October 4th into October 5th, and proved to police satisfaction anyway that he had nothing to do with it.
Has there been any contact with Quentin's biological father?
We have had contact with him. He's not a suspect.
After a week of searching for little Quentin, the Chatham County Police confirms everyone's worst fear. Quentin is believed to be dead, and his mother, Leilani, is the primary suspect, but no charges or arrests are made.
It's sad. Was February 13th when this year in court paper, when she was back in court for one hearing, and then she was back in court on March 26th and in April. Her mother in March filed a petition to try to get Leilani's other two. This child needs justice. We need to think about him, not others. It's just like all the other cases since then. Summer Wells, still not found. Still not found. And then now we have Sebastian. We have Sebastian that is missing. We still have Caleb Harris that is missing. Everybody claims evidence, new evidence. There ain't no new evidence in a lot of these cases right now, at least none that law enforcement has put out. None whatsoever. But we got all these out there that are stirring up, is stirring up nightmares, stating otherwise. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I hope that Sebastian is found. I hope Caleb Harris is found. They deserve justice. Their parents deserve justice in finding their child. And 21-year-old boy goes out to get his dinner he ordered in his socks. And he was supposed to go fishing that next morning, later on that morning. And just poof, as they say, poof, disappeared. Something happened, and it had nothing to do with, at least in my opinion, as to the private home. I think he walked away. I think he heard a noise, not knowing what it was. So he took his little flashlight with him, not expecting to go anywhere. That's why he didn't have his shoes on, people, and walked out the door, went out the front door to look. to see what was going on and was snatched. Of course, they're not only, the dogs are looking for Sebastian's scent if you walked out. Nobody knows if they checked anybody else's scent nearby. We don't know. You may have. Maybe that's why some of the dogs went one way and some of the dogs went another, because they were following a scent of someone maybe holding Sebastian. Now, according to Seth, he was in the parking garage at work for most of it and inside with the inmates, which I assume only there is where there was cameras. Just going by what he said. His words only on the panels that he has said. Chris has stated he was in Memphis at the St. Jude's construction site for the St. Jude's brand new hospital being built for children. In his camper there, because he had to get up early in the morning. And newsflash, people, my dad and stepmom, before they got married, would spend hours on the phone talking, because we were in Colorado, she was here in Utah. And he would fly over there to visit. Now, this is before they officially got married and after my mother passed away, which is about 1.5 years prior to. So don't mix signals on that either. It'd spend hours. They would get up in the morning, because they're both morning risers, and do a FaceTime and have their breakfast. Dad'd have his cereal. My stepmom would have her cereal. Sitting at their own tables and having breakfast together via FaceTime. Now, if that ain't love, and they were old high school sweethearts, reconnected. Now, 2-3 hours, yeah, it's possible. Time flies. We all know that. But we got some idiots out there that think, oh, that's not possible. Why would they be on the phone for 2 or 3 hours? Well, let's see. Chris was at work in his camper and on the work site. Katie was at home with Sebastian. And if you think that you're going to make me and several others believe that you never snuck out when you were 15 to go see your boyfriend or go hang out with your friends, be a little daredevil at 15, both guys and gals, bullshit. Miss me with that. I call bull. Royal bull. When the next trial will be, I don't know. Or if there will be a trial, it depends on back to kind of Quentin Simon and him getting his mom, everybody getting justice for that little boy. That little boy is who deserves it more than anybody else. We don't deserve it. It's not our place. We have no business into that, except hope and pray the law enforcement gets it right, or that they find who they're looking for. Find who they're looking for. That is the main thing that I'm looking at, is when is the judge going to answer? She was supposed to answer was stated in April. She would answer in May. And of course, not having the documents yet, not having the documents yet on the toxicology and I guess a blanket and some other things that'll allegedly belonged to Quentin that they had found with Quentin's body. Custody case, that's for Billy Joe Howell. Does she deserve to get those 2 kids? I don't know. It's not my place. It's the courts. It's the foster care system that thinks that she deserves a second chance or even a chance to have custody of those 2 kids. Why is she looking for custody of those 2 kids? Why? Things got messed up when she had foster care rights to Quentin. And look, unfortunately, look how that turned out. Not saying it's Billy Joe's fault. I'm not saying that. I'm not accusing her. Many others are, but I'm not. It's law enforcement who has to decide, does she deserve to get those 2 kids? Will the fathers of each one of those 2 other children that Leilani shared with the fathers, do they want to give up those rights? We don't know what their lives have been like since Quentin Simon was found unalived. I do know that child custody cases are hard. I know that divorces are harder than hell. Dates are a big thing. And I'm not talking about going out and having a date. I'm talking about dates revolving around every one of these cases. Well, when was she here? What time was she here? You know, things like that. Charges. Is Leilani, is her lawyer going to do her good, fair? Or is he just grasping at straws? Because from what I understand, they just finally got her a lawyer and a small team looking at the court records. They're now fighting for any possible rights. I guess we'll know as soon as we get the toxicology and the forensic information. And I will try to keep up to date on this, since those who claimed they cared about little Simon, like they yelled on the streets, they obviously didn't care, or they would have paid attention to any possible court dates coming up, or that there was a court date for that matter. Now, to end this live, I'm going to put I have a few that are still missed. And I'm going to end it with one of them being one of the most current, that's in Tennessee. And I also have a few others. Let's see. Let me go out of this, bring this one up. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. No. Dang it. I thought I hit it up already. Give me a second. I know I got it. Dang it. All right. Where did I put you? Oh, probably wrong folder. Dang it. But we just got to keep our prayers, keep hoping, try to stay on top of some of these cases. I mean, the Madeline Sarah case is still going on. I mean, charges are being, dropped left and right. Some of the creators I follow are following those pretty heftily. And I hope that I hope they are found. I hope they're found. All right, what did I do with it, darn it? Let me open up this one here. Come on. Okay, there's that one. Dang it. Darn it, I thought I had one other one. Oh, there we go. Let me open this. All right, get this shared. Yeah, I'm a rookie. All right, now there's this young lady. I'm still learning about her and her situation. She's been missing, and there was a picture of allegedly her boyfriend or some man sitting in her car with his mask on and looking threatening. And Jennifer was not seen near the car when that picture was taken. Now, I don't know who took the picture, but someone took the picture of the two. Now, the other one I was looking at is little kid. Let's see. Now, this child is still, last I heard, there's this little child, the mother, non-custodial mother, out of Memphis, still has not. I haven't found her yet. I haven't found this child that I know of. I am going to be looking more into it since this was just recently posted. And I'm hoping that they do find the child and the mother and they lock her up. This is just one of many cases that are out there. I mean, not just Tennessee, it's just one of many states. Of many states. Now, the most current that breaks my heart that we are all following, and I'm hoping that we can. I'm hoping we can find this young man. Let me find it again. Dang it! Thought I had it up already. They put it under thumbnails. Well, I thought I had. Well, shoot. Give me a second. I'm dragging a little bit here, trying to find it. I know I got it. Now, show this real quick. because we're all familiar with this picture. This young man here, he needs to be found. He really does. All three parents are looking for him. They're putting out flyers. They're so stressed out. To me, they are so stressed out that cease and desist orders on those who are trying to help by putting up billboards. 22 billboards went out the day of or the day after or before the cease and desist went up. There was the legit ones that we know of. It's actually provided the envelope. I mean, I know a few that legitimately 100% got one from a lawyer, not just a copy paste from somebody else's to claim that they got one. Now, I'm trying to find the one thing I was looking for originally. All right, let me open this. I knew I had it. Oh, there we go. And here's the other one. Speed it up, skip, whatever it needs to be. Let me open this up. The most recent cases, in my opinion, is this one. Come on, share. This is the Tennessee Bureau of Information. Hello, Thor. Thank you for stopping by. I was starting to think I was alone up here. This is the Amber Alert that went out within a couple of days, or if not less, of Sebastian disappearing. This young man at 15 needs to be found. There's so many red flags. And of course, back to the old story, CPS, state CPS, be it here or any other state, needs to fix a lot of things in their system. They do. And I'm glad they're locking down on minors, and it's a federal thing, but state to state, they need to. And they need to go get on the same storyline, on the same factual law issue. No CPS records out, period. End of sentence. When parents sign for them, no lawyer, not even the parent, are allowed to even speak, drop, hint at anything like that, or they get locked up because they signed that document saying, I will not. And yet, left and right, we hear Seth dropping bombs like that, dropping bombs about his own son. And I pray to God that Sebastian is not watching these. I pray to God is not watching these, because I hope he's watching the good ones. Now, my other that I had, which we've all seen. Let me find it here. Now, this is the other one that we're familiar with. This shows a little bit about Sebastian also. Thank you, Thor. I appreciate that. I mean, not seeing very many people visit. I'm guessing that they probably in between videos, lives, things like that, which is fine. This is the most recent. I wanted to end with a picture of exactly. I agree. Either side. I mean, those ones, I mean, they ain't gonna be able to totally stop it, but when they're accusing a parent that has no facts, I mean, I should say, when you got a creator that is spewing no facts whatsoever, the law enforcement says there is no, at this time, nothing nefarious. Okay, they searched the house. How many times have we heard? Dogs, both types, probably 3 different types, to see if Sebastian was in that house in a bad way, or in their cars in a bad way. I'm sure they checked every one of their odometers and all that. Yeah, that little black box, they got newer cars, so it's not like they're gonna have, you know, that little black box. That computer tells on everybody. It keeps a map of where everybody has went, and if I'm not mistaken, it's Cellbreaks that checks it out. They do an in-depth. I'm sure they can map it all out and figure out, well, let's see, no, there's no way that Chris could have been over here, like Betty accuses Chris of doing, and accuses him of murder. Or any of the other ones out there, or even Seth himself dropping that bomb and accusing Chris of things. Chris has been very, very gracious. And every time I've ever heard him on a panel talking, being nothing but giving Seth grace. He is never down, never bashed Seth. As a parent, concerning being accused of the things that they, you know, things that's been said about him and Katie, he'd have every right to go off. And I don't blame him in that one call. And as far as I'm concerned, Terry Lynn set that up to rile him up, to piss him off, to send to the ex. Yeah, I did not know that, and I pray to God that it wasn't, that it's not. I hope it isn't. I think he's still alive, Thor. I think he is still alive. The reason why I say that is because dates matter. And I kind of got that impression even from Gabrielle, who was both Seth and Katie's friend in California and was in the service with Katie. Dates mattered. That's what I got from it. There was a lot more I got from it, but that mattered to me. Dates. Because, and maybe the filing date was February 26th. Exactly. I mean, granted, we're going by what we're going by what Chris has said, you know, in helping Chris and Katie saying that they helped him find a job. Okay, they got him to Tennessee. You know, we can only go by what he's saying and Katie is saying. They tried to help him. They tried to help him get a job. They got him. I mean, he got his own job, but it was with a little nudge from Chris and Katie. Hey, here's a job. Apply for it. You're qualified. You know, we'll get you here. You know, we'll find a way to get you here. So you're not on the streets. And he did fine. I mean, I'm not sure how long Seth has been in that job. I'm not sure how long before he, you know, in between from the time he left California with help to Tennessee. It doesn't matter on that. It's him harping about everything that happened in California. It's like he's stuck in a warp. You know, like in one of those transport beams, you know, the like from Star Trek. I mean, if you want to get into Trekkie stuff or, you know, movies and things like that, Seth said that Sebastian liked the newer version of, you know, the newer. Exactly. Well, yes, I did hear that too. And I think the reason why Katie went in the service is to help provide some kind of income, to help provide the insurance that she knew with the military would stay with her. You know, as long as she was not dishonorably discharged, she would still get the medical. It may not be as great as having your own private doctor, but it's still medical to cover for any of Sebastian's needs that he may need in the future. I mean, he already was going through so much when they found out he had the chromosome deletion. So my only hope and pray is that, well, yes, I mean, even back then, they had to have been pretty high for someone that didn't have any income other than Katie's military. And even before that, you know, what money? You know, nobody knows. We only know of Katie going into the service for however many years, be it the general or more, I'm not sure. It was none of my business in that respect. But she was able to get the medical in. Sebastian's needs may have even added more in that financial, you know, she was trying to help her child, trying to make sure that Sebastian got the best of all, or the near best. And the only way to do that, considering his chromosome deletion, was to have some medical coverage. We all struggle to get that medical coverage, whether you're a child, you know, for your child, or for even for yourself these days. They use them for Medicaid or, you know, or Medicare. There's no way we can pay our medical bills. If something was to come up, even if we're healthy as hell, just coming out, you know, an emergency, you know, whatever the case may be. Doctors are charging outrageous prices. You go into an office visit and they give you 5 minutes and they charge you $150 for that 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what mine costs for one freaking visit, and for them to turn around and tell me to go to the ER because they thought maybe I had a gallbladder, you know, gallstone. Exact, that too, Thor. That too. I don't know. My only hope is that Sebastian is brought home safe. That law enforcement, Sumner County, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Secret Service, the FBI, whoever it is watching and listening and paying attention, because there's too many things that are adding up. There's too many things that, to me, for them to throw cease and desist orders, we're getting warm. I mean, hot, like on their tail, kind of hot. Kind of like a hot, closing your eyes and say, okay, am I warm yet? Or you get close and the person says, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer. Yeah, okay. It's not a game. This whole thing is not a game. This child's life is not a game. And it's cruel. And for them to shut up only certain people because they live close. They can watch, they can peek, they can see what the hell's going on around them. T-Rev moving too close. All of a sudden they got a new fancy fifth wheel in a barn-like thing in a nice fancy patio. The pump may have been passed down from her previous husband. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. My mother's, when she passed, her medical bill from the 16th until she passed away the 26th, 10 days in ICU in the heart ward of one of the best hospitals there in Denver area. It was over $2 million. Over $2 million, and there's no fucking way my dad could have paid that. But because she passed under their care, and it wasn't their fault. It wasn't. They tried everything. They did. Unfortunately, the balloon collapsed. They tried everything. They forgave my dad all of that. He didn't have to pay time on that. The other two hospitals are the same hospital system before getting moved to that hospital, to the heart ward. They tried to charge my dad. This is the same hospital that when they went into ER in the North hospital of theirs, tried to say that my mom was just there for a drug fix, which was a crock of shit. He's like, yeah, that ER doctor's like, wasn't there to hear it, because I would have punched him. I would have been the one locked up then, because my mom was not into fucking drugs. Because they didn't know how to do their damn job, because dad had taken her in twice in 1 week. Found out she hadn't been taking any of her damn pain meds for 3 weeks. None of them. But medical, it all goes back to medical. And I think, and thank God, Katie did go in service to get that medical. It was still little, so at that time, it wouldn't have, until he got a little older, which she could spend more valuable time with him. While she's just little, baby, they finally got him out of the hospital. He was home. She went into the service to try to save them all, financially and medically. And he turns around and makes it look like it's all her fault. It's wrong. What he has said is wrong. Do I believe that he 100% is involved? No. Do I have some doubts due to all the red flags? Hell yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of doubts. And Gabrielle was, some of the information kind of really made me sink even more into those dates, making me feel even more that they are not a fucking coincidence. He harps on those dates and that time period of his life versus now, instead of saying, okay, it ain't gonna happen, me and Katie ain't gonna happen, she's married, remarried, and she's happy, let me just leave it alone, we'll work it out as to, visitation or, joint parentage. But to trash, that's where he's gone wrong. And I think, when my opinion anyways, because it seems like that's when some of his mood changed, and it was before the web sleuth interview that his attitude changed, and that was the day that Katie, due to threats against her and Chris, physical threats to them, her safety was more important. So if and when Sebastian got home, she would still be alive, because those threats were that real to her and Chris. She left and went with Chris to where he's next, where they were putting him on another job site to keep him safe. And with that in mind, his world come undone, because he thought, well, Chris is out of town, he's working, she can come help me search. I don't think she wanted to be anywhere near him because of the past. There was things that red flags even for her, that something was not right. I mean, since her divorce, she did not, obviously, in my opinion, obviously did not feel comfortable around Seth alone, period. And I don't blame her. My ex-husband was the same way. You won't catch me single in a room with my ex. That's how manipulative he was. And it was mental abuse my ex did. So I totally get the, I'm not going to be with you alone. You're not going to bully me into whatever you think, no. So, and I don't blame her for leaving with Chris. And I think that's, and it probably was, I'm going to guess, that law enforcement probably said, yeah, it might be a better idea due to this, this, and this. So she went with him for her safety, because we all know what those tragedy pits nosing around other homes. JLR getting run off out of the private area, and throwing a connection fit over the United Cajun Navy, or whoever they were, allegedly a legit search team. And ever since Tony came on board, anybody and everybody that was possibly legit, run off. Chloe doing vetting those people to protect our client, Seth, from bad people taking advantage of him. And Tony convinced Seth, get rid of her. Don't worry about it. I got this. I got this. Don't worry about it. That little devil on the shoulder. I got this. Don't worry about them. We got this. Yes. And so did Terry Lynn. She's the one that took pictures up close and was driving around showing the camper in that. Damn TikTok and just CPS needs to get more involved in these cases. Short-handed or not, they need to get better. They just need to get better. They need to do their job better. They get a case, they need to look through every dang one of them and go and visit them at least twice a month, if not more. Brooks is another one, from what I understand. She's one of the other ones that was involved in this case and stirred up shit. She also stirred up shit with Monkey Vaughn, along with Stacy Wandra. That's where they got the idea for Sebastian, for Seth, of, in a sense, in order to interview me, I want money. That's where that came from. Stacy Wanda, another suspect in another child case. Don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if I want to know. I just want Brandy and her husband and the children that are still in that house to have some kind of peace and be able to lay that child to rest properly. That little boy deserves it also, Monkey Vaughn. Anyways, for now, I might go on later since only a few hanging around. Hopefully later when anybody else is not doing lives, I can squeeze in again late at night and come and visit. If you come and watch, whoever comes and watches, please click the like, comment. If you like what you're hearing about the few cases I've come across, I will also be looking into the details of James Tolliver Craig. Yeah. He was the dentist who poisoned his wife for a piece of ass that was in Texas. Same with Chris Watts, except Chris Watts went beyond just the wife. Yeah, I was in Denver when that took place. I was in Denver when Dr. the dentist Craig did what he did to that child, or to his wife. I already tried to poison and kill her off once, and then unfortunately did her in. And in the meantime, while he's doing that, he's bringing his girlfriend from Texas. Now, the lady, from what is said, she didn't know that he was still married. He told her, he lied through his teeth to her and said that they were, in the middle of divorce. Same with her. But anyways, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed the stream. The information that I provided on this case, I'm looking at more. Gonna be looking into more of the cases around that I'm familiar with between Colorado and Utah. The kind of old cases. Corey Richens, another one, killed off her husband, hoping to get, that multi-billion-dollar home and redo it. So keep your eyes open. I know I don't go live very often, but I'm learning. I'm a rookie. Thank you all. I really do appreciate it. For those who came, don't forget to I hope everything goes well. Prayers for all of you that you get sleep at night and that you don't have to go through this anymore. No more torture for all of us. Thank you all.